Live from historic Fort Andros in downtown Brunswick, your way to wake up on the Midcoast. The Midcoast Morning Buzz. Richard Kazimer, Jim Blykamp, Radio 9, WCME.
Well, Brunswick's own Maine State Music Theater has just announced their 2013 season. It includes Dreamgirls, Les Miserables, Gypsy, Mary Poppins, and a couple of children's shows as well. Our guest this morning, Curt Dale Clark. He is the artistic consultant, and the lovely and talented Stephanie Dupal, who's the interim executive director. Kids, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Don't let the interim executive director title fool you. Stephanie is the brains behind the operation. She has been for many years. She started out as you were 6 years old when you started working there, right, Steph?
That's correct.
Yes, and now you're running the whole place. And Curt, you're a newbie here in town. Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and before that, Chicago, Illinois.
Get out of town.
Yep.
You know, I have to say this in gratuitous sucking up. You two are absolutely the most beautiful people who have ever graced this studio. I mean, we've had some really nice guests, distinguished people from actors to Nobel Prize winners and deities from other planets. And you two are just incredible.
Well, now we're going to owe you part of our salary.
You owe me everything. No, you don't. In the interest of full disclosure, I used to work for the Maine State Music Theater as their marketing and PR director some years ago and had a wonderful time. It's where I met my wife. Well, let's talk about the season. It kicks off with Dreamgirls June the 5th, and that runs through the 22nd. Dreamgirls, a fantastic musical, probably one of the best musicals to come down the pike in many, many years, a new musical at that.
Oh, we're so excited about Dreamgirls. It's actually a co-production with the Fulton Theater in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Stephanie and I got to see opening night of it down there, and we cannot wait until our audiences see it. We absolutely got chills at the opening night. It got a standing ovation at intermission. That's how good this show is.
Now, people will know this by the movie with, what's her name, Bouncy there? Is that her?
Jennifer Holliday.
Oh, no. Jennifer Hudson.
Hudson and Jennifer Holliday.
Beyonce was in it, yes. But that's the thing is Jennifer Hudson overshadowed Beyonce in that movie. The music in it is wonderful stuff.
Oh, and I am telling you, I'm Not Going is like the most famous song from the show, and it's recorded numerous times by numerous people. The score is got a bluesy feel to it, a rock feel, a jazz feel. It covers all the gamuts, and it is just a thrilling, thrilling score.
Is this really based on the Supremes? People threw that out there when it first came out.
They call it loosely based, but I think they say loosely based because they didn't get the rights from the Supremes. It really is the story of the Supremes.
So that runs June 5th through the 22nd. Les Miserables, a standard, running June 26th through July 13th. Now that coming off a very successful movie with Anne Hathaway, Russell Crowe, Hugh Jackman, and a whole host of other people. Very successful in this day and age where all we're looking for is action and things blowing up. For a musical movie, make box office money hand over fist. I mean, they were printing money on this thing. And then great reviews as well. That says a lot about the music of this musical.
We're actually very excited about Les Mis because it was incredibly successful here the last time. They were completely sold out the last time. People were furious. They couldn't get seats. It's the #1 show on the audience surveys every single time. Like you said, the movie just came out. We're excited for people to come and compare and contrast all of the different productions, and I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised at the version of Les Mis that they'll see at Maine State Music Theater this summer.
Gypsy, musical based on Gypsy Rose Lee, the famous burlesque dancer, and about a stage mother from hell. Recently heard an interview with Barbara Streisand on NPR talking about her ties with this and her production of it, and channeling her mother, who was also kind of a tyrant as a stage mother, very jealous of Barbara Streisand's career. But again, an American standard. This is one of those musicals that you keep going to time and again, and it puts fannies in the seats.
It does, and it's an absolute classic, and we're thrilled that Karis Leos, one of our all-time favorite performers at Maine State, is going to be playing Mama Rose. She is so much fun, and everybody loves her, and she's going to bring a side to Mama Rose that I think we'll all enjoy seeing. And our airwaves are full of dance moms and pageants for little girls and the mothers behind them. So this is a chance to remind people that it all started with Mama Rose.
And this kind of brings it home. This is nothing new. And when you go back to this real-life story of Gypsy Rose Lee, this really does hit home. That's going to run July 17th through August the 3rd. And then wrapping up the seasons is Mary Poppins, which is going to run August 7th through the 24th. Everybody knows Mary Poppins. Just a phenomenal Disney movie. What are you folks bringing different to this?
Well, there's a misconception in the community that Mary Poppins is a children's show. It is not a children's show. It is meant for people of all ages. It's one of the most successful Broadway shows ever. There's new material that didn't exist in the movie, and there's also some material, all of the material from the movie. It is a thrill-a-minute musical. It's just, they dance in the aisles during Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's the kids love it. I mean, kids love it, adults love it, everyone loves it. It's a great show.
You know, you're absolutely right, Curt. You look at it, the banking industry. I mean, that's going on now, Wall Street. There's a huge banking theme in there, and how corrupt they are and how miserly they are. There's the suffragette movement, women's rights. There's parenting issues, working parents, stay-at-home parents.
You must have seen the show recently.
I watch this thing all the time. I've got it on DVD, so we watch it at home. My daughter's 22 years old. She's out of the house, but we still watch this thing because every time you watch this, there's a nuance to it. And I think that's the key to all good musicals, is that you see it for the first time every time. And there's always something to go back to, even if these shows have played time and time again, and that's why they do so well.
Back to Les Mis for a second. They made a big deal about the movie because the actors performed it live. Every time I heard that, I wanted to say, come see a Broadway show. And we're doing those this summer. So come see it. You'll see Mary Poppins, Dreamgirls, Gypsy, and Les Mis sung live every single night.
Yeah, try to do that
with an orchestra.
Try to do that with a car chase, huh?
Yeah.
You can't do it. You can't do it. Well, let's talk about Maine State Music Theater. Now, what season is this? I've lost track.
This is our 55th season.
55 seasons in this town, and you're still Maine's only professional music theater?
There are other music theaters in Maine that are professional that are performing musicals, but we are dedicated to musical theaters, and we are an equity company. We bring our actors from all over the country, but we audition in New York, and you're seeing Broadway actors on our stage.
Now, Jim had mentioned this morning about the difference between summer stock and what it is that you folks do. Now, if you can differentiate this, I mean, this is Broadway material. I mean, you have Broadway directors, Broadway actors, Broadway choreographers, the whole 9 yards. So if you can just, in our own minds, what is the difference between, let's say, community theater, summer stock, and the Maine State Music Theater?
They all serve their purpose in the community, and we support all of them. But our goal is to do things that some of the other theaters can't do, and to show people who can't get down to New York on a regular basis what a Broadway show looks like. The problem with that is we only operate for 12 weeks. So we operate for 12 weeks, 3 weeks each show. It's hard to pay for those shows in 3 weeks. So what happens is we rely on the kindness of strangers. So call, write, send us money. The ticket sales, basically, there's no way they can possibly pay for what we're doing on that stage. So we're constantly in a state of trying to raise money, which is not a problem because we enjoy what we do, we love what we do, we're proud of it, and we think it does serve a purpose in the community, and other people agree with us because they keep helping us. Thank you very much for helping us.
Well, Steph, let's talk about that. To that end, how have things changed since you started with the theater some years ago? It was difficult back then, as I recall, trying to get sponsorships. And we always had that tough row to hoe with people that said, well, I don't need to contribute because I pay for this ticket. And we had to tell them, well, no, you paid for that one performance that you saw. You don't pay for the next performance or next year. And when we found out that we were generating something like in excess of $3 million in 12 weeks to this local community, and then it really hit home to the local businesses that said they couldn't afford to advertise during the off season and they didn't have to during the regular season, until we said, okay, well, how about if we move the theater out of town? And then it really hits home as to how much economic value not only the Maine State Music Theater is to this Midcoast area, but all theaters and all arts organizations.
Well, that's very true, but I will say this. I know that the town of Brunswick and the Bowdoin campus help us as well, because in reality, people who come up here to see us, especially the tourist market that comes to see us, they're mesmerized by this beautiful town. They're mesmerized by that beautiful campus, and I think the three institutions together is the best mix, and we all help each other, and the cycle continues, the circle of life, so to speak. What's good for Bowdoin's good for Brunswick is good for Maine State Music.
So, Steph, season tickets are on sale now, correct?
They are, and so are single tickets. You can either call our box office at 725-8769. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Or you can buy them online at www.msmt.org. We are also in person. We are not at the theater yet. We're still at our offices at 22 Elm Street, which is the road that goes next to the Hannaford off of Main Street in Brunswick. So please, you can visit us online or in person or over the phone, and our box office staff will be happy to help you buy your tickets.
And you are a nonprofit organization, so
That's
if someone
correct.
wanted to make a donation, whether it's their estate or cash, or somebody wants to drop off some pots and pans and some costumes and whatnot, they can get in touch with you, and also they'll get a tax
Absolutely.
deduction.
Any donation is completely tax deductible, and our box office can help you with that. Also, if you would like to talk to Barbara Whidden, our Director of Development, she can also help you find ways you can help us donate through other means.
Oh, let's talk about the children's shows.
Well, we have 2 kids shows. We have Charlotte's Web and Cinderella. And I stress, if you want to see either of those shows, get your tickets now. They sell out every year. We always end up with people that are unhappy because they didn't get tickets. So get those tickets early. And we also have 3 special events this year. We're doing Hair, then Suzanne Nance and Friends, and then the Footlight Follies later in the year.
And that's all at Pickard Theater at Bowdoin. Correct?
All at the Pickard, yep. We need donations for every aspect of what we do. The end result of a show, pick a number, whatever number that are the gross receipts for the show. If you subtract everything that we do after that, or before that, royalties, rights, actor salaries, how much the set cost.
Costumes,
Yes, all of it. I mean, by the time we're done, we always end up in a negative number because we are trying to give the absolute best productions that we can, and that stuff is expensive. So.
And there's another way you can donate, and that's donating your time. And we have a wonderful organization called the Angels, who are our volunteers, and they help us out in so many ways. They help ushering, they help pick up actors and our technicians at the bus station or the train station or the airport, bring them to us. They help during strike weekends. When we change from one show to the next, we work 24 hours a day. There's always somebody working, and they make sure that they have food available for them so they can eat, and they distribute our posters. So if you can't afford to financially help us, we also would love to have you help us with your time, and we can find a great use for you.
And you're looking for sponsorships for the shows?
We are
corporate sponsors?
always looking for corporate sponsors, and if you contact us in the next day or two, we're also looking for people who are advertising in our playbill, and we'll be going to print for that shortly, so we do need to hear from you quickly, but it's a great way to get in front of 55,000 people who will be up here visiting our shows.
Stephanie Dupal, Interim Executive Director, Curt Dale Clark, the Artistic Consultant for the Maine State Music Theater. Their season kicks off June the 5th, Dreamgirls, Les Miserables, June 26th, Gypsy, July 17th, Mary Poppins, August the 7th. Kids, thank you so much for coming in, and
Thank
we'll
you.
do it again
Thank you.
when you guys start cranking up full tilt. Going to have you come in and bring some actors and actresses, choreographers, directors, you name it, and we'll do it again. Thanks a lot. You guys do great work.
Thank
Thank you.
Radio 9, WCME.